Welcome back to Competing Against the Mass Market with Dean Parks, compliments of Natural Factors and Assured Natural, who sponsor these presentations. So number one was advisors, the number one way to compete against the mass market. Number two is the selection of your products on the shelf. The selection that you have can be unique to them, from them. Well, the number three way is the store is a fast checkout. Now, not always will the natural health food store be able to lead in this way against the mass market, but the key part of this is to understand the importance of having attention to your checkout counter. As we know, and most of you will, if I ask you why is the checkout counter so important, you'll tell me, well, it's the last place a person has contact with this within the store, the last before they leave the door. And so before they walk out the store or leave your website, how do they feel through that checkout, right? And that last feeling, doesn't matter how wonderful the store is, how well merchandised, how beautiful, clean, how great, positive everybody is within the store. If it's a bad experience at the checkout, the customer may not ever come back. The number one reason people shop in the mass market is for convenience. It's convenient. Usually it's easy parking, you're in and out, you can buy everything in one place, you go home, Bob's your uncle, it's done. So remember, your checkout counter is the number one area for customer satisfaction. So you really have to put a lot of attention into the detail around your checkout counter, which is something that over the years of me traveling to thousands of stores, it hasn't always been the case. Because often, the small independent, the checkout counter, you might even do your books on the front counter, you might do packaging on the front counter. You might just, over a period of time, you just got clutter on the front counter, or every supplier wants to put their impulse sale on there. So you got 20 impulse sales stacked up on the counter. Really understand that the stress levels of the checkout counter on your consumer, especially in these days, is quite high. So make sure they're flowing through. If there's ever a lineup, make sure everybody in the store knows, drop everything, come and help the people through the cash. Really adhere to having a fast checkout counter. Now, I believe as advisors and selection, you can beat the mass market. On this one, you may not beat them, but you better be as good as them. You better have attention to it and understand that often, the checkout counters where the new staff members put, like, hey, you're new with us, you can be the first one on cash. Don't just leave them out there hanging to dry without really making sure they're trained properly, that they have the right sort of personality for working in the checkout counter, because unlike the mass market, where customers are they're used to maybe not getting the greatest service, in an independent natural food store, they expect you to be giving them sort of 100% attention to and having that detail. So the only other thing I'll add to the fast checkout, I mean, you can read through these things at your own leisure. It's a great place to have signage. I did a training for a store this week, and they have the TV sets up around their cash register, different signs, different messages going on. That's a great place because it's the only place where a customer will stand. Usually they're moving through the store, so you can't have like a 1-minute message in a place where they're only going to spend 5 seconds. But on signs near the cash registers is a great place to pass on more information, educate your customers, because remember, educated customers are going to support you more. So number 3 is the store has a fast checkout. Number 1 is advice. Number 2 is selection. Number 3 is ensuring you have a fast checkout. These are the ways, these are the things to be aware of if you want to really compete against the mass market, who are in bit by bit, they're taking over the natural health business from us in the community. And if you don't get my Sunday free range news, you can sign up at freerangenetwork.ca. And thank you very much.